Um, there's an exercise that we've been involved in Steve, isn't there, where we're asking people about why should somebody buy a golfing umbrella, which is very straightforward baseline example. And we just ask people to say, okay, what are the benefits of buying a golfing umbrella? And they talk about, oh yeah, it keeps you dry, and also it's big. You can put there's some ad space on it. You know, we have bright colours, logos, that kind of thing. You can use it as a weapon. You could probably even putt your ball using it if you want to. And of course, you know, under the heading of what are people going to buy into, are we going to buy any of those things? Well, might do if we're interested in them. But of course, in the end, and you know, you hear a lot of people talking about features and benefits and all that kind of thing. People buy the benefit, and you know what the benefit is actually, when you think about it, is what they get from it. It's the payoff that they achieve in relation to their iceberg, their logically based needs, and their emotionally driven wants.
Yes.
And that's at the heart of why every man is an iceberg. And if we want to sell our services and our products to any human being, we need to understand how our proposition actually connects with that person.
Is the emotion the dominant want? Are wants more dominant than logical needs?
In the main, yes.
Yes.
What's the percentage split?
Oh, very much skewed in favour of the emotionally based wants.
But most salesmen sell into logically based
Yes.
requirements,
Yes.
and they totally avoid the emotional side because they don't know how to penetrate it.
Yes.
Yeah, they kind of not just don't know, they don't realise the importance.
Right.
So, you know, very often when we go on field accompaniment, you know, joint selling trips with salespeople, and we ask afterwards, you know, how do you think that went? We ask a question like, how well do you think you understood that person's needs, their wants, and what's driving them? They'll say, oh, extremely well. Yeah. You know, I spent a good 5 minutes on that before I got into my pitch. And I think 5 minutes is good. So there's a real lack of awareness out there around actually what selling is. Pitching and presenting is not selling.
So the natural salesman, the salesman who naturally outperforms his peer group, he, by definition, you would say he's really good at figuring out people's wants.
Definitely, and you get with that, you know, one tends to get what are sometimes called hunters and farmers. And the hunters, as the name indicates, people who can go out and beat the trees and win new business, or the farmers who are cultivating existing contacts. In either case, it's based on a relationship. It's just that the hunters can get there more quickly. But they have the ability to earn enough trust and credibility through the questions they ask and by understanding the real heartbeat of the person they're selling to.
But can anybody become good at this? I mean, is it possible for anybody who wants to be a salesman or is a salesman, who struggles with understanding their wants, can you teach him to be much better than that?
Well, is anybody a born brain surgeon? No. You know, can you teach somebody to be a brain surgeon? Yes. So we're great believers, Steve, aren't we, that you know, that selling is much more actually of a science. It's more of a science than it is an art. And the people who have more of a gift, of course, will excel if they do both.
Yeah, we think there are certain characteristics that you're born with, that without them you'll struggle. But given that those characteristics, those attributes are in place, that good selling is much more taught than you're born with it. Given certain attributes are in place, a degree of intelligence, perhaps a sense of humour, the wherewithal and the willingness to ask for what you want at the right time, they need to be in place. If you can't do those things, you're probably not going to be successful, Jeff. But if they are in place, it's very much a learned set of skills rather than something that's between your ears when you leave the room.
And you know, in reality, that initial awareness of the need to do it, and then some help with some structures as far as one's questioning is concerned, and listening and note taking, you can make up a lot of ground quite quickly. It's not like trying to learn the piano. You know, it is something you can do fairly quickly and make enormous gains in sales effectiveness by just applying some baseline structures.
Thank you, gentlemen.